Alright, so, it's a little dark. Whatever. Anyway, so buddy system. The beauty is like, once you like control, you got the trust. And I read people immediately. I know what the fuck people are up to. You can like leave your pack behind, right? Like, you got gear? All right, I'm going to the store, because like after a while, carrying the pack around gets old. It does. It's nice to like walk around unencumbered, and so there's that. Sleeping, like, you're camped on the bridge, like, it's chill, right? There's like someone else like nearby that will have your back if some like weird shit goes down, like some fucking people with bad intentions, or I don't know, wild animals, what the fuck ever. There's like another human there, like your brother that has got your back, got your six, The panhandling, it's like, we take turns, you know what I mean? And we share the wealth. It's good, especially 3 people, actually. That's pretty cool. I mean, for camping, not for like traveling. I mean, I would never try to hitchhike with 3 people, but hitchhiking with 2 dudes is also hard, but doable. So, we kicked down on the bridge, and, I don't know how long we were there, a couple days, maybe longer, and, there was a couple rainstorms, so it was cool, we're under there, and, we're watching trains go by all day long, right, and I was like, yo, Dan, when the fucking, when a train stops here, okay, because one will eventually, we're getting on it, alright? Like, we're getting on that motherfucker, I promise you. I mean, if it's heading east, alright? And, he's like, alright. He's like, he's from Minnesota, grew up in California, was a bit of a fucking wingnut, you know what I mean? Like, but, not in a, like dangerous way, you know what I mean? Just kind of, like, out there sometimes. Like, I'd be like, hey, bro, stop being so esoteric. He would just say crazy shit sometimes. He talked about like Earth 1 and how he remembered being on a spaceship that came to this planet and shit like that. And I'm like, all right, man, who knows? You know what I mean? Fair enough. But he did talk about something that at the time I was kind of like, all right, here we go again with this one. And now I look at it and I'm like, I think maybe he was onto something. He did live in California for a while. He called it being clicked, and what he was talking about was these direct energy weapons they have, all right, where they can like make people pass out from far away, and that's some real shit. Like, there's footage of it. I mean, you can check some YouTube vids. There's a woman astronaut who's trying to tell a story about a UFO, and they fucking knock her out twice. I mean, like, the videos are out there. So, like, he was talking about that, and sometimes he'd be like, all right, and that was, like, his favorite word. He was, like, clicked all the time. But, like, he was definitely right about that one, That's definitely real. They've developed some pretty, like, weirdo weapons. Maybe in like 50 years, people will be like, oh, that's what they were doing to, the sheeple. So, anyway, and like, when he started doing like Earth 1 stuff, I would just kind of glaze over. Be like, all right, dude, Earth 1. I'm like, I've always been on this one, since the beginning. I've been here a long time, So, I mean, this isn't the first time I've been here. And, this vehicle is not the first vehicle I've driven on Earth. Okay. Anyway, whatever. So, like, when I get to like a buddy system, so it's fucking great. It was very helpful, And so sure enough, the fucking train came. Now this kid was like, he's older. I mean, Jesus Christ, fucking can't talk. Younger than me, by like 10 years at least. And ironically, and this is really fucking wild, once we like got really, tighter and became better friends, he had the same birthday as my ex, my ex-girlfriend. I was like, oh my god, like that's, no wonder we like click. Hey, there's the click word. And you know, anyway, I'm not gonna give too much away. I've already like said too much on here about my actual identity. So but it was like, that was ironic. And so the fucking train stopped, you know, 7 a.m. whatever time. I ran up to Walmart. I got water, I got lemonade, I got like whatever. I mean, I fucking got supplies, you know what I mean? I hooked it up. I had, because we were making cash every day, so I just was like, I'm not getting on a fucking another train with no water. I keep hopping freight trains and running out of water every fucking time. So I got like 2 gallons and a fucking, you know, a lemonade. I don't know. I just was like, I'm not gonna get dehydrated on a train again. And probably beer too, of course. And I also had like a vodka drink I was drinking or whatever. So I probably got snacks, who knows? But I like, we were fucking geared up, supplied up, you know. So I got on the train and I got all my shit on there, and I'm yelling up at the fucking bridge, like, hey Dan, wake up! You know what I mean? Our ride's here. And Chris was at the store like getting breakfast for everybody. He didn't even know the train came or whatever. And he was in town for court, so like he couldn't come with us. And so he fucking wakes up, you know, because he was like he would sleep in. I get up when the sun comes up every day. And I'm like, bro, it's time to go. Our ride's here. So he came down, he got on the train, and we get on, we're all set up. And then Chris comes back and he's got coffees for everyone and breakfast sandwiches. So I'm like, Dan, run up there and get the fucking food, you know? So he gets us like the food and the coffee. So now we're like totally set. I mean, we're good to go. And you know, we sit there and the train starts moving. We're drinking or sipping our coffee. We're waving to Chris like, all right, brother, see you later. And we're riding. Now we're riding across Wyoming, which is like the least populated state. It's one of my favorite states, actually, in some ways. I mean, not like, I mean, the land and kind of the fact that there's no people there. I like. I mean, they're stupid and you know, they don't have legal cannabis and all that. I mean, Colorado's right there, and Wyoming like will refuse probably, but it's like you know, it is the cowboy state. But people are cool there and whatever. But they're stupid because like it's just fucking meth and booze everywhere, right? Like no weed. So anyway, so we're riding through the desert, and I'm like, you know, we're good to go. Like we can kind of just sit here and we don't have to hide, you know, because there's like spots when you're hopping a train where you fucking have to hide. And so they were doing work on the track. So we fucking hit this spot, and I see this like truck, and I'm like, fuck. So it was too late to duck down. And Dan's wearing like bright clothes, and he's got like a bright red sleeping bag and whatever. It was fucked on that end. And then we passed by people, and the guy looked right at me, and I was like, almost like waved to him. And he's like, I'm spotted. I'm like, me too. And back in the day, you know, the brakemen, you know, the railroad workers would like tell you what train to get on and make sure you had water. I mean, like back in the 90s, it was like not a big deal. But now they have to fucking call it in. I mean, like they want to keep their jobs, you know what I mean? They're just stupid. They have to be fucking snitches. So they called it in. So we get to this little town called Rock Springs. Now, you know, I just look at. Oh, I'm still dying. Anyway. So I look at everything like, you know, it's God doing something, right? Even though at first it might seem negative, it may have a positive outcome at the end, right? So, we get off at Rock Springs. I mean, we stop at Rock Springs, and I'm like, wow, we stopped here. Like, we shouldn't be stopped here. I'm like, oh, we got spotted. You know, we're probably fucking busted. And sure enough, we hear the law. We see their cars. They're right there. They're like, hey, get off the train. So we get down, and we just talk to them. I mean, they didn't cuff us or anything like that. They were like really friendly. and just didn't even like run us, just like took our names down and wrote it on a fucking notepad, you know. And you know, we were straight up with them, whatever. And they were like, well, look, the tower is right there. If you're gonna get back on the train, like they can see you from there. So whatever. They were like, we don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like they were just like the Rock Springs PD. You know? Didn't give a shit. And we were like, oh, sir, we're gonna hitchhike from here. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, excuse me, we were in Green River, which is like really near Rock Springs, maybe 10 miles or something. So we're like, now we'll just hitchhike to Rock Springs from here. So we start hitchhiking, and then the irony continues. We get a ride from a guy who was a former railroad employee, which is fucking rad, and he gets us there. And so we just start flying signs and doing our thing, and some guy gave us a bunch of socks and started our trip there good. And we get downtown, and like he was kind of like, I'm kind of tired of drinking, whatever. And I'm like, well, that's cool, I'm gonna get a beer, you know. And there was a festival in town. We were there, and I think it was Warrant was playing, you know, probably Warrant, and like some other like sort of metal bands from the late 80s, 90s, and some country bands. It was like their you know, what do you call it, like you know, fair for the summer or whatever, the big festival. So we're like, cool, there's people in town to party, you know. And he's like, I'm gonna find some weed. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So we're like sitting in the shade over by this gas station. Like, we're not panhandling, but we're just sitting there. And these kids drive by in a fucking pickup, and they're like, what's up, woo, you know. And so we start like going like, you know, like, what's up, you know. And so they come back over and they hand me a fucking nice little like 20, you know, little dub of weed. And I was like, hey bro, fuck yeah, it's on now. So we went to this like little abandoned like feed lot spot. I was drinking my 40s and rolled a joint, got stoned, so baked, you know, because neither of us had smoked for a while. And then I was like, all right, well, I gotta go find somewhere to drink my beer, you know what I mean, like whatever. So, or I finished it, and then I was like, I want another one, you know. And then like, so we go to this spot, and there's like 4 truck stops right in the same area, and we fucking stop there, and I'm like, I got a couple more beers, and I was like, well, I gotta find somewhere to drink this. I don't want to be like standing out in public. I mean, right now I am, whatever, you know what I mean. I don't give a shit. But in that little spot, it felt like I should like kind of be incognito. I was like, let's find somewhere to get in the shade too. It was getting hot in the sun, and I see this bridge. I'm like, hey bro, let's go under the bridge. So we do, and it's not like a railroad bridge or a highway bridge or anything like that. It's just over this creek, and it's called the Kilpecker Creek. And we fucking go under there, and we find this spot, and it's great. Now it's like sandy and dirty, whatever. It's not concrete, but you know, you just get some cardboard, you're good. So, and the creek's running through, and it's just a little trickle of a creek, but there's water, and not that we're drinking, but you know what I'm saying, it's nice to have a little water flowing by, it's peaceful. And I was like, dude, I think we can camp here. So, you know, there's a McDonald's right there, there was 4 different truck stops, so like panhandling was no problem, and there's food and whatever, you know, we're good to go. So, we ended up camping at that spot for 7 days. And I'm running out of time, but so part 3 will be like how we got out of there and shit. So like, yeah, we camped there for 7 days. I went to McDonald's every day and got more cardboard until I had like a fucking cardboard apartment. Like straight up, it was totally set up. There was 2 does, I mean not does, fawns, deer fawns, black-tailed deer would come through every fucking morning almost. There was a little white cat that I named Honky that would come through. Like, it was super peaceful. It was awesome. We, you know, because both of us needed a break from the road, so we camped there for literally 7 days. And like every day we would just kick back. We got weed like a bunch of times. I had some fucking truck driver come down there and smoke me out. He's like, you don't need to go to Colorado. Colorado just came to you. All right. So, all right, y'all.